Hand clap to the massive brothers and sisters. That was a powerful clap right there. Hand clap to every single one of you guys to tuning into this here Mystelics Reacts channel. This is the very first out of two of them, brothers and sisters. So tune into the other one. That first one will be in the first comment in the comment box below, guys. But welcome to every single one of you guys. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button. I would appreciate that right there. Click it once, not twice, once. And of course, subscribe and turn on that post notifications so you can get the latest vibrations when they tend to come through right there. Sorry for the individuals who are watching at fast pace. Hopefully, you guys can get it and understand it right there. But of course, big up on yourself. I appreciate every single one of you guys for definitely watching the vibrations. All across the world is watching, brothers and sisters. And without further ado, let us get the vibrations for today right there. Now, I don't know if this individual believe that they are at work, but I guess they're trying something. But it seems like people are placing heads on different things and, of course, making photos. It seems like this is in relation to what took place in Dominica with the bike life situation or the bike festival, which I think was very much successful. I think Scared Them was also there. I remember Melissa was there. I don't know if Scared made it, but you know, I think they anyways, that doesn't matter. Anyways, brothers and sisters, so it seems like something of that sort, I guess, was there. All right, they put, why are they making Melissa the donkey, huh? And Scared riding the donkey. That's interesting, huh? Sometimes you have to ride, brothers and sisters. You have to ride. Anyways, moving on, brothers and sisters, I think we have none other than the legendary himself, Dr. Dangleben. Hopefully, I have his name correct. But he has a number of things to talk about when it comes on to the bike situation, and I think the healthcare facilities, from what he's seen from his own ideology, from, you know, viewing from afar, I guess. But we're gonna get into that vibrations. Let's take a listen.
You know, I don't want to sound like a party pooper,
here,
but you know, I'm watching the motorcycle activity in Dominica, and you know, it's all well and good. Right, the fest. I mean, it's all well and good. Young folks will do, you know, what they have to do, and you know, it's not a bad idea to be. I think it's I don't want to sound like a party.
I think it's a really good idea when it comes into the situation, because this is sports tourism. You can bring a lot of things in Dominica. Something Dominica, the individuals who are supposed to be the visionaries have not looked into, and of course, people have to be convincing them to show that it is actually a good thing, right there. And of course, you know, I guess that's how it goes sometimes. Anyways, let's continue.
To be honest with you, the only thing that concerns me is safety, right? And then, you know, it's an adrenaline rush. It's exciting, right? But when I hear fest, and you know, you hear activities, right? You hear alcohol, you hear partying, you know, some degree of irresponsibility, and you know, some people might say, you know, oh, get over it. But I'm on call this weekend, and yesterday I had 14 traumas, couple motorcycles. It was a nice day.
Tramway motorcycles was a nice day. I kind of get the understanding where it's coming from, but on the basis of what took place, I think what took place was how it was supposed to actually go down. From my point of view, I was actually there. Although there were a number of persons, or even an announcer had to be calling for individuals to go behind the barriers. But I think the way that they probably put the barriers was not helpful. In other words, you're trying to watch. So, in other words, you have something going straight. You're watching everybody on the activity going straight. So, they put the balusters exactly straight, which, of course, you're going to have a set of people in the very line of other people trying to look while other people blocking them. What I think they should have done, so the road is going straight. What I think they should have done with the balusters is they should actually make the balusters go sideways, so that everybody who's watching can get to see without actually moving forward, I think. And I'm talking about putting the thing sideways like this, and you have the thing like this. I'm thinking about having it at an angle where it can actually go out, where everybody watching can get to see. Because I think the main issue there were individuals trying to come in front of the other person who has already gone in front, and they're blocking the person at the back, so the person in the back have to move again. So it seems like people were shifting out when it comes to, I think that was pretty much the only situation that I saw right there. So, you know, that's my point of view in that regard. I think they should have made the balusters slightly going this way instead of going this way. You check? Because everybody will be packed up trying to look pin over the head and what have you, brothers and sisters, and they blocking each other. So they should have made it slightly going like a V, you know. So yeah, anyways, let's continue.
I've had one motorcycle accident today, nothing fatal, but you know, they came in as, you know, level 2 traumas, and obviously we're here to take care of them. So why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this because
maybe that wasn't in Dominica. We had ambulance, tattoo ambulance. Yeah, there are two vehicles for healthcare there. The reason why I stated this is these people trained enough to handle if any circumstances actually happen. I cannot say yes, because Dominica healthcare is not the best at all. Guys, really and truly, I want to say yes, they could, but I really can't.
I see all these activities, all these wheelies, all these stunts going on. I don't see protective gear. I don't see, you know, helmets. I don't see, you know, shoulder pads. And
well, I would disagree that almost, or at least 99% of the riders and the individuals who did not have their helmets initially before, they were told to put on their helmets, and they had to get a helmet. If they didn't have a helmet, they had to put it on. During the time I was actually there, so I have to disagree in that regard for the helmets. The shoulder pads and these kind of things there, I get everybody trying to be these most safest people or whatever, but I think people looking at it from their point of view, not the biker's point of view. Yes, circumstances can happen. There are sometimes, if you're looking at people thinking of falling off from a bike, you know, as a person who has never ridden a bike before, people might think, oh, falling off a bike is a crazy thing. Whereas the bikers themselves know there's a possibility that they might fall off from a bike, and knowing how to fall is also the key as well. I think education is the key aspect here, but people are looking at it from the different perspectives when it comes down to that regard right there. So yes, wearing the shoulder pads and this kind of things there would be good, but when you're doing stunts and this kind of things there, wearing shoulder pads can actually cause you to have an accident. Wearing a full, you know, the full garment, brothers and sisters, when you're doing the stunts, that can literally cause you to have an accident right there. So I'm not saying individuals should not wear the stuff. I'm saying, you know, when it comes down to certain activities, bikers who are doing these stunts most likely get a set of cliche before, so they will know how to fall if they have to fall. They will know. I remember Hugo was another individual I saw in what do you call that place again? Wesley. Yes, I remember Hugo was wheeling one time, and I think the biker cut off or something, and he went back down and he went over. Now, the way he went over, he didn't have to go over, you know, but he chose to go over and roll. I remember that very clearly. And that is an individual that knew how to, quote unquote, fall off a bike. You know? So individuals who are doing stunts do not have the same mind frame as the individuals who never rode bikes before, or they are just scared of bikes. Usually, I saw people who actually there told me they just come for the fanfare. They don't really like bikes, but they come for the activity and the fanfare and to show support to the vibrations right there. So that is my thoughts on this. Let's continue.
I'm going to say this, and who wants to get upset can get upset. In the last year and a half, I've had 3 requests from Dominica. Those who made the request, family-wise, knows what I'm talking about. That folks are sitting in the hospital waiting for orthopedic hardware to fix broken bones. Right? And folks have reached out to me specifically, asking me for specific equipment that they don't have. Because from what I understand, the patients have to go and find some of these things before they can be operated on. And we're talking about, you know, weeks, right?
I think I know where it's going with this.
You know, if you have an open fracture, there's protocol, right? You have to be given antibiotics, right, immediately. Right, and you have to continue the antibiotics until these wounds are closed. Sometimes you have to put what's called an external fixator. We know they don't have that in Dominica. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, so I think, like I indicated, I think I know where he's going. I know under the understanding that he's saying certain things are not in Dominica to actually help. Because initially, I was pretty much saying, when I say, oh, there were 2 medical vehicles there. Okay, 2 medical, I don't call them ambulance. to medical, because to me ambulance are pretty much equipped with different things, you know. I just remember the situation. Well, they say it wasn't an ambulance that came, it was a fire truck that came for Elias, and you know, I check in you somebody have oxygen mask or something, you know. They probably say, well, let's preserve the oxygen. I don't understand how we thinking there, but for me, from what I gathered from him, he's pretty much saying that certain things are in Dominica, and if individuals do not have the gears and these kind of things there to prevent such a thing from happening, if these circumstances were to happen, then they would not necessarily get the necessary medical care that they would need, because Dominica does not have it. So he's saying it's important for individuals to wear the protective gears and all those kind of things, which I agree. But like I indicated before, sometimes, and keep in mind, sometimes you can be wearing protective gears and your bones still break. Different things still happen. This is why when it comes down to the individuals who know how to do the stunts and these things there, who know how to fall, circumstances can tend to happen. Don't get it twisted. We had a number of incidences of individuals who a few of them happened, and we had a number of them that took place on the island ride. Everybody was okay, thank God for that. Well, there was a guy and a girl who apparently got some bruises and stuff, you know, because I guess they were doing nonsense. I don't know what they was doing, but they went off-road. Let's just say they went off-road in that regard. But I get his point. When it comes down to that circumstances there are certain things, for you to do certain things, you need to have the necessary equipment just in case this has happened right there. And I agree with him that Dominica is lacking in that regard. So, okay, let's continue.
But in all of this, we have to have this conversation.
True.
It's not being a party pooper or, you know, or
He's
Debbie
right,
Downer.
right.
It's not about that. It's about facts. It's about reality. It's about looking at things and saying, you know what? It's a good idea. But we're participating on an island, multiple, right, tens and maybe 100 people on motorcycles. If you have 3 accidents out of this 100, you've now overwhelmed the emergency department. An emergency department that is not...
For the island ride, I agree with him. For the stunting vibrations, I would say most likely the individuals know how to fall into the limits and this kind of things and what they can do. Because it's not like they pick up the bike yesterday and started doing things. The individuals, from my understanding, all the individuals out there have been riding for years and doing these kind of stunts for years, and it looks kind of dangerous. But to them, this is not dangerous at all. If certain circumstances happen, and I'm sure circumstances have happened with these individuals who are doing the stunts, all of them have appreciated already. I'm a rider. I appreciate it. But I don't do those craziness that else do. Maybe, but let me leave that alone. Yes. But he does have a point when it comes down to Dominica not having the necessary equipments to handle these kind of things. Especially, we consider ourselves to have a brand new looking building, but the healthcare is not the best in Dominica. So I agree with that. For the island ride, however, I think what he's saying, it makes sense. Because to me, when you ride in a set of people are riding, I'm guessing they had a truck in front of them and something, so I'm guessing they have to ride behind the truck. But I'm sure not all the bikers will ride in behind the trucks. You know, there was some police vehicle or something of that sort there as well. And I'm guessing some of the individuals who were a bit faster would ride behind the police vehicle. And, you know, the others who were a bit slower would ride behind the music truck or something of that sort. So I'm guessing that's how they arranged it. But there was still some certain incidences that happened along the way. I can think of 3 or 4 of them that actually happened. But thank God nothing happened. But what he's saying there, needing to have the proper equipment will be vital. It's not just saying you're going to have the sports and let's have sporting tourism for bikes and this kind of things there. What the officials need to do is say, okay, we went through this one. Thank God it was quote-unquote incident-free. We didn't have anybody breaking bones or nothing of that sort. A few bruises here and there. Great. Oh, wonderful. You know, these things will happen. So next time we need to be properly equipped. I think that's what the individuals who would be in charge of these things would be thinking, you know, to make sense out of it. Because if you don't have this, you're just going to be in square one. And what if next time now something else happened drastically where you do not have the proper equipment and the proper resources to deal with these circumstances? So it's good that he's bringing that up to say, okay, next time these things need to be in place. Hopefully the officials are out there listening to different viewpoints, you know, and taking into consideration, hey guys, we need to have this, because motorsports can be a very dangerous one, even with the professionals themselves. I mean, we've seen a number of professionals, you know, people doing things across the world, and they were in full gears and they didn't make it. Doesn't mean that the gears, you know, we shouldn't wear gears because people wear gears and they don't make it. No. Wear the proper equipment and this kind of things there that is relevant to what you're doing, but also having the proper means and measures put in place to actually help those who are participating in that kind of activity.
Quite functional to begin with, right? How many orthopedic surgeons do you have? How many trauma surgeons do you have? None. Maybe one orthopod. But we have to have this conversation, right?
True.
It would be great to make this an annual activity.
Like I indicated before, you need the right set of people. Guys, we're talking there, but I wouldn't be surprised that absolutely nothing happens. I would want something to happen, but I would not be surprised if absolutely nothing happened for next time. Because having this conversation seems like these things fall on deaf ears. If it's not pertaining to the government officials' development or their own personal sake, it doesn't seem like they would care. Because how then can a government, the prime minister of a country, not too long ago, was talking about he can send his family out for better emergency better health care overseas, and then he asking his supporters, what about them? So it's not far-fetched for me to be saying I would not be surprised if absolutely nothing happened. Because although we have nice building, brothers and sisters, we have the worst, I was going to say we are same. No, we are worse healthcare, brothers and sisters, especially when mankind is complaining about not even having the necessary things like plaster and not antibiotics. What is the other thing they say? Paracetamol and those kind of things that we need. Well, I myself don't need paracetamol. They say links to cancer. So yes, you have to be careful with that one, brothers and sisters. But you can Google it yourself if you think I'm joking. But you know, be careful, brothers and sisters. I guess if you constantly taking it, it can trigger some boy. Oh, I tell you, they're giving you something to numb something. That's anyways, let's continue.
Right? You have EMS there. I used to cover NASCAR when I was at Lehigh Valley Hospital. I used to go up to the Pocono Raceway. Right? Fire trucks was there. EMS was there. I was a trauma surgeon. There were emergency room doctors.
Was the fire? Yeah, well, the airport, to meet at the fire station there, as he mentioned fire truck, I was thinking, well, what if a bike caught fire or something of that sort? Because some of them bikes was blazing fire. So what if one of the bikes had caught fire or something of that sort? I realized, you know, but was it readily available, or was because it's the airport, you know, we have the fire trucks right there. I'm guessing maybe people would be, you know, there available for if anything were to happen. But I think, you know, the substance or the vehicles would carry the water or whatever needed to out these things. Not necessarily water, because keep in mind, brothers and sisters, we're talking about gasoline. If you put water and gasoline on fire, it might be worse. Okay, you might say, well, that is the heating up of the gasoline much faster, makes it more combustionary. I don't know if that's a word, but the water causes it to, instead of you thinking it's outing, it's actually making it worse right there. So sometimes you actually have to use sand or some other substance, carbon dioxide thing that would take away the oxygen and all kind of things. So I'm guessing these individuals would know that's what's up. But I am, from my viewpoint, I did not see any fire truck or any of that substance readily available. Doesn't mean it wasn't there, but it wasn't readily available. That's a fact. If anything would have happened, they would probably say, hey, call the ambulance, call the fire truck just there and whatever you. And the fire truck come. I think it should have been much closer if anything would have happened right here. One of the good things that they actually did, they had the medical vehicles on both sides of the area. So if something happened down there, they had the thing. If something happened there, they had that. So that was a good thing that they had right there. Did they have the proper equipments in the medical vehicles? I do not know. But hopefully they had the stuff right there. But what he's saying, there are certain things that are definitely needed in Dominica. So hopefully the authorities would actually do something outside of themselves to prepare for the next one right there.
On site. That's how it has to be done. It has to be protocol. Not a couple of police officers standing there, 4 EMS standing there, right? You have to have things in place.
Yep.
And this is all I'm saying is, you're going to have such a big activity where people from different islands are coming with their motorcycles. You got to have healthcare. You got to have trauma care. You have to have emergency care. All right? We need to start getting serious and not just sitting there and saying, it's jealousy, this and this and this. No, it's facts.
Yep.
All right?
I don't understand why people always talk about jealousy. Who jealous of what? Who jealous of what? I think people need to stand up, pull up, and just stop before they say anything and think. Is what he's saying there makes sense? Now, guys, this is the first time I'm seeing this video. This is why I tell people to always watch the full video. Okay? Sometimes I might say certain things in the beginning based off what I'm hearing at present, and then getting the full story along the way, and then concluding with the whole gist come together. This is a reaction channel based on what is being stated right there. That doesn't mean the points that made earlier are not valid. They are definitely valid based off the timeline that of which they think. So you can, people can get different ideologies in different places. That's why you watch the full reactions right there. Okay? So that's just my thoughts. You give his thoughts, I give my thoughts. What are your thoughts in that regard? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below.
Because when a loved one gets injured, it's devastating. It's really devastating. All right, guys.
And then you wish you had the equipment. You wish you had the resources. This is why I've said this a number of times before, brothers and sisters. There are a lot of people who have passed on in Dominica Hospital. Or not even Dominica Hospital, but because they're in Dominica. They have passed on. They are no longer in the land of the living because Dominica Healthcare did not have the resources. Either that or there was medical malpractice. I remember when the guy went in for operation for his hand, and they must have go inside there and cut the wrong vein or something, and the man bleed to death. Just like that. It's better he had not done it. No longer he's alive today. He will never return. Do you understand what I'm saying there, guys? If we had necessary equipments, a number of Dominicans, your family members who have passed on, would have been alive today. Let that sink in. Anyways, guys, if you understand what I'm saying, give this video a thumbs up, click the thumbs up button, click the like button, and of course subscribe and turn on that post notifications so you can get the latest vibrations when it tend to come through. Tune in for the next reaction I'll be doing a bit later on. So by Mystelics once again, guys, be real, salute the king, be positive.